Okay, in this video I'll go over how to create a glass effect in Inkscape. To demonstrate this, I'm going to use this image right here. So what I'll do is I'll create a rectangle on top of this, and I'll give it rounded corners because this effect looks a little better with rounded corners. And I'll center this on the vertical and horizontal axis. I'll then take the image, Control D to duplicate that, lower that one step below the rectangle, and then I'll come over to the Fill tab, add some blur to it, about 25%, and then I will click on the rectangle, select it, hold shift, select the blurred object, right click and set clip. And so that right there is basically the absolute basic glass effect. We've created our glass effect just by doing that. So you just take the blurred object, you mask it, you clip it, and you get the basic glass effect. But we can enhance this quite a bit. So let's just right click on this, release clip. So I'll duplicate this rectangle, Control D, move it here, and I will add a white stroke to it, remove its fill color, and I'm going to add a linear gradient to the stroke. And right here I'm going to add a few more stops, about five should do it, I think. Let's go with 4 for now. I'll take the first stop and make it completely white. Take the second stop, I'll make that transparent. I'll take the third one, make it completely white. Fourth one can be transparent like this. And I'll press G, I'll take the stop, place it here. I'll take this stop and I'll place it about right here. So then we will do one more thing, which is I'll take this rectangle again, Control D to create another duplicate of this. I'll bring this here and I will give it a black fill color, and then I'll come over to filters, shadows and glows, and drop shadow, and we'll click on live preview. And this is already pre-done for you, but you can copy these settings. You just want to select inner from shadow type, and horizontal and vertical offset on 0, blur radius. You can go with any value you want, anywhere from 0 to 10, and you can click apply, and then you can adjust it from the blur value. So you can adjust the inner glow using the blur slider. Now before I move on, I want to explain one thing. You guys can skip this part of the video if you want to, but I'm just going to explain something that we're about to use in just a second. So I'll take this object, I'll duplicate this, and I'll move it here. And I'll make another object in the background, and let's just go with this color. Lower this to the bottom. And if I click on this black object and I change the blend mode of this object to screen, you can see that the black color is gone, it disappears, and you're left with this inner glow, this white inner glow basically. So that's because we changed the blend mode to screen. I'm going to explain the screen blend mode. So basically, if I make any shape right here and I give it some color, and let's just remove the stroke, and I change the blend mode of this object to screen, it's going to brighten that area. It's going to brighten whatever is below it. And that's how the screen blend mode works. It adds brightness to whatever is below it, right? The screen blend mode adds brightness. But because black is the darkest color, this is the darkest color, so the brightness of this object is 0. Black is 0 brightness. So when I change the blend mode of a black object to screen, it doesn't add any brightness. So it just disappears and you're left with a white glow. So that's the reason why. That's basically how that works. So we're going to just delete this, and we're going to we'll go back to our design. So what I will do now is I will click here on this white object, hold shift, click on the blurred object again, right click, set clip. Great. can click on this object, hold shift, and I can, before I do that, I want to take this object, move it all the way to the top. Then I want to hold shift and center this on the vertical and horizontal axis like this. And this already looks much better, but we can enhance this a little bit more. Let me turn on snapping, and I will just move this right here. That looks perfectly okay. And now I'll change the blend mode of this thing to screen, which will remove the black color, and all of a sudden you can see now we have this nice inner glow effect. And if you want, we can reduce the brightness of this, not the brightness but the opacity. We can also increase or decrease the inner glow using the blur slider, but I like it where it was at 20. We'll leave it at 24, and I'll lower the opacity to 75. And so that's basically how you can create the glass morphism effect. Now finally, just to go over how I made the design for the thumbnail, which is this one right here. And what I did was I just simply took the background and I removed the background from the bird, right? So if I right click, release clip, I just simply removed the background from this bird, and then I simply placed it right on top of its position, right? So exactly where it was in the original image. So that's basically how I made this design. And with that said, that is it for this video. If you liked it, you may also like one of my other videos.